No one in the galaxy believed humanity would survive the coming night. Across the stars, alien fleets moved like dark clouds. Slow, massive, and unstoppable. They surrounded human space from every direction, cutting off all escape routes to the rest of the galaxy. Humanity was small, young, and weak. They were seen as loud, emotional creatures who fought too much and planned too little. The Galactic Council had already decided their fate. Earth was marked as a lost world. Human colonies were labeled as acceptable losses. No empire spoke in humanity's defense. No ally came to stand beside them. From the outside, it looked like the end of a failed species, but inside human space, something very different was happening on Earth, deep beneath the planet's surface. Lights turned on in a place that had not been used for generations. Massive doors slowly opened, each one thicker than a battleship's armor. Only a few humans were allowed inside. They did not speak much. They did not argue. They all understood what this moment meant. Human leaders stood in silence as holograms showed the enemy fleets moving closer. Every second, more alien ships crossed the final warning line. The last message from the Galactic Council still echoed in their minds: surrender now, or be erased for the safety of the galaxy. Humanity had heard those words before. They had heard them from kings, from empires, and from monsters that believed power gave them the right to decide who lives. Every time, humanity was told to kneel. Every time, humanity was told resistance was pointless. A human admiral finally broke the silence. His voice was calm, but heavy. With history, they think we have nothing left, he said. They think we are desperate. They think this is our final hour. The others nodded slowly. They knew the truth. This was not humanity's final hour. This was the moment humanity had feared since the day they reached the stars, far above Earth. Alien commanders watched human space with cold confidence. Their sensors showed no unusual weapons, no massive energy spikes, no signs of resistance strong enough to matter. To them, humans were already defeated. One alien commander laughed as he gave the order to move closer. He believed fear had broken humanity. He believed humans would beg before the first shot was fired. But on Earth, deep underground, a final system came online. Old machines awakened, built not for war, but for survival. Red warning symbols filled the screens. A single message repeated again and again. Authorization required for extinction-level response. Human scientists watched the message with steady eyes. This weapon was never meant to be used. It was not designed to win wars. It was designed to make sure humanity was never erased. Long ago, humans had made a promise to themselves: if the galaxy ever tried to wipe them out, if survival became impossible, they would not go quietly. A senior leader placed his hand on the console. His voice was almost a whisper. We tried peace. We tried warning them. He paused, then gave the order. Proceed with Phase 0. Far away, alien sensors suddenly began to fail. Stars flickered for just a moment. Space itself seemed to hold its breath, and for the first time in galactic history, the galaxy felt something new: fear. Across human space, alien fleets continued to move closer. Their ships blocked the stars like a rising wall to the galaxy. This was not a battle. It was an execution. Alien commanders spoke with calm voices. They discussed humans as a problem, not a people. Some called them dangerous animals. Others called them a mistake that should have never left their home world. In the halls of the Galactic Council, screens showed Earth from orbit. Council members watched without emotion. To them, humanity was already finished. One council voice spoke clearly. Human resistance is irrelevant. They lack the technology to challenge us. The decision was final. The order to erase humanity was approved without hesitation. Meanwhile on Earth, humans prepared in silence. Cities did not panic. There were no riots. There were no prayers broadcast across the stars. Instead, there was focus, a deep and quiet determination. Military leaders stood beside scientists, and engineers, old rivals, now worked together. Every human understood what was at stake. This was not about victory. This was about survival. Human ships did not rush forward. They stayed behind defensive lines. Alien commanders saw this and smiled. To them, it looked like fear. It looked like surrender without words. An alien fleet leader sent a final message to Earth. Your species has reached the end of its path. Lay down your weapons and accept extinction with dignity. The message was received. Human leaders listened carefully. Then they chose not to reply. Silence spread across the communication channels. The aliens mistook it for weakness. They believed humans had no answer left. One alien general gave the attack command. Thousands of ships powered their weapons. Energy levels rose across the fleet. The first strike was moments away. Deep underground on Earth, warning lights flashed faster. The secret facility shook as systems reached full readiness. Human scientists watched data streams scroll across their screens. Numbers climbed into dangerous levels no normal weapon should ever reach. A young scientist hesitated. She had spent her life studying this system. She knew what it could do. She knew what it could break. Even she did not fully understand its limits. She looked at the human commander beside her. Is there still another way? She asked. The commander did not answer immediately. He looked at the image of Earth floating on the main screen. Humans tried. Every way, he said quietly. We asked for peace. We accepted limits. We followed the rules of the galaxy. He turned back to the screen. And still they came above Earth. Alien ships began their final formation, weapons locked onto human worlds. Their victory countdown had already started. Then something strange happened. Alien sensors reported small errors. Time readings were slightly off. Distance measurements no longer matched. At first, they ignored it, but the errors grew. Communication delays appeared where none should exist. Some ships reported echoes of signals that were never sent. Confusion spread through the alien fleet. Commanders demanded answers. Their technology had never failed like this before on Earth. A human officer whispered, "They are starting to notice." The Phase Zero system continued to charge. Power flowed into something hidden deep beneath reality. Something the galaxy had never seen. Human leaders exchanged one final look. They knew that once this step was complete, there would be no turning back far across the stars. Alien confidence began to crack. For the first time, they questioned their certainty, and they wondered, what had humanity done in the silence? Deep beneath Earth, in the heart of the secret facility, a massive chamber glowed with an eerie red light. It was quiet, almost too quiet. Human scientists, engineers, and military leaders stood at the edge of the chamber, their eyes fixed on the object that had not been touched for decades. The weapon was enormous, taller than a skyscraper. Its surface shimmered with strange energy patterns. No human words could fully describe its shape. It was like nothing in the galaxy. Neither machine nor living thing. It seemed alive, yet fully controlled by humans. A senior scientist stepped forward. He touched a console, and the chamber hummed like a waking giant. The walls vibrated softly. Lights pulsed in rhythm with a hidden energy. The air felt thick, charged with power. The leader of the Human Council spoke. This is the last weapon we ever hoped to use. It was built not to conquer, not to dominate, but to survive extinction. The weapon was not a missile. It was not a fleet. It was something far worse. Something the galaxy had never imagined. Its energy could erase entire star systems. It could bend the laws of physics. It could make life itself tremble in fear. A young officer asked quietly, "Can we really control it?" The scientist nodded slowly. Control is an illusion, but we built safeguards. We built it to obey the human will. Nothing else. Outside the chamber, alarms began to ring. The alien fleet had reached the edge of human space. Their weapons powered, their sensors scanning for weakness. They had no idea what awaited them. Inside the facility, humans moved quickly. Every step was calculated, every command precise. The weapon responded like a silent partner. Energy flowed. From hidden reactors, from cores built centuries ago, every pulse filled the chamber with heat and light. A human admiral looked at the screens. "The galaxy is about to learn a lesson," he said calmly. He turned to the scientist beside him. "Is it ready?" The scientist's hand hovered over the final activation lever. "Yes," he said. "Phase 1 is complete. Phase 2 begins now." Outside, alien sensors suddenly reported something impossible. Distortions in space, time anomalies, signals that should not exist. The commanders frowned. They tried to adjust, but every reading grew stranger. Their confidence began to crack. The human leader pressed a button. A hum filled the entire facility. The weapon responded. Energy arcs danced across its surface. The floor trembled beneath their feet. It was alive and it was ready. A young scientist whispered, "We built this to survive extinction, but I did not know it could feel." The leader replied, "It does not need to feel. It only needs to obey. And today, it will obey humanity, deep in space." Alien fleets felt it first. A strange pull, a sudden chill. A warning in their systems that made no sense. Their confidence turned to fear. The weapon was not just a tool, it was a message. And the galaxy was about to hear it loud and clear. The human admiral smiled. Phase 0 was over. The Doomsday weapon was awake, and the game had just begun. The countdown had ended. The human admiral gave the order, all systems engaged. The Doomsday weapon roared to life. Energy flowed from the hidden cores beneath Earth. It raced through conduits, cracking the facility walls with sheer force. The chamber vibrated. Lights danced wildly across every surface. Human operators held their breath, knowing the galaxy would never be the same. Above Earth, alien fleets were the first to feel the change. Sensors went haywire, weapons misfired. Shields flickered and failed. Ships shook as if space itself resisted their presence. Commanders shouted orders, but every command was ignored by their failing machines. Panic spread through the fleets like wildfire. The weapon fired its first pulse. It was not a missile, not a blast, not anything the aliens could recognize. Space bent around it. Stars flickered and shone brighter for a heartbeat. Then dimmed, alien fleets struggled to navigate. Every system failed at once. Ships collided in chaos. The galaxy watched silently. Unable to understand on Earth, humans did not celebrate. They knew the weapon's first pulse was only a warning. A test. Phase 1 had shown its power. Phase 2 was restraint. It was enough to make the galaxy pause. And to make humans survive another day. A young scientist said quietly, "They will not forget this." The admiral nodded. "No," he said. "They will never forget humanity again." Aliens tried to regroup. They sent messages to each other, trying to coordinate. But the weapon's energy field made communication impossible. Sensors failed. Ships could not move properly. It was like the galaxy had become a cage for them, and humanity held the key. The human leader looked at the main console. "This is only the beginning," he said. "We showed them restraint. We could have destroyed them all, but humanity is not just a weapon. We are survival. We are clever. We are relentless across human space." The first fleets of humans moved forward, not to attack, not to conquer, but to secure their homes. Every colony strengthened. Every settlement prepared for whatever might come next. Alien leaders realized the truth too late. Humans were not weak. Humans were not reckless. Humans were something they had never faced. A species willing to survive at all costs and willing to do whatever was needed. The Doomsday weapon pulsed again, this time stronger, its energy spread like invisible chains across the enemy fleets. Ships froze mid-flight, weapons jammed, signals failed. The galaxy itself seemed to obey the weapon, obey humanity. The human admiral whispered, "Phase 2 is restraint. Phase 3 will decide the future." The aliens could only watch. Confusion and fear etched on their faces. They had underestimated humanity, and that mistake might cost them everything. On Earth, humans breathed quietly, not with fear, but with purpose. The Doomsday weapon was more than a tool. It was proof that when the galaxy underestimated humanity, humanity would survive and perhaps thrive. The galaxy fell silent. Alien fleets drifted in space, powerless and confused. Their ships still frozen in the energy field, sensors dead, weapons useless. For the first time, the aliens understood the truth. Humanity was not weak, humanity was not reckless. Humanity was a force no one could ignore. They had survived countless wars, countless attempts to erase them, and now they had proven themselves beyond doubt. From the orbit of Earth, a human admiral sent a single message to the Galactic Council. It was short, calm, and clear. It said, "We do not seek rule. We do not seek conquest. We seek only survival. Do not mistake our restraint for weakness." Across the galaxy, the message spread. Alien commanders read it again and again. Some shivered, some paled, none dared reply immediately. They had learned their lesson the hard way on Earth. Humans watched silently. The Doomsday weapon still pulsing gently beneath the surface. It was not fired again. It did not need to be. Its presence alone reminded the galaxy of humanity's power. A young scientist turned to the human admiral. "Will they ever attack us again?" she asked quietly. He looked at the stars, not with anger, not with fear, but with certainty. "Perhaps," he said. "But they will think twice before they do. They will. No humanity will survive, no matter the cost." Colonies across human space celebrated quietly, not for destruction, but for survival, for cleverness, for proving that humans could endure what no one else thought possible. The aliens slowly withdrew, their fleets limping back to their own territories. Shattered in confidence, humbled by a species they had once considered weak. Back on Earth, the leader addressed the world. "Humans have survived because we never gave up, because we faced the impossible, because we chose to protect our future. At all costs, let this day remind every generation that humanity does not bow. Humanity does not break. Humanity endures." The Doomsday weapon rested quietly, a silent guardian of humanity's will. Its energy dimmed but never gone, a warning, and a promise to the galaxy and to humanity itself. And so, the stars of the galaxy learned a simple truth. Never corner a species that builds monsters only to survive. Never underestimate humans, for they will rise. They will fight, and they will endure. The human admiral looked at the horizon. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers, full of challenges. But humanity had survived its greatest test, and one day they would face the next. Stronger than ever, unbroken and unstoppable. The galaxy had witnessed the unthinkable, and humanity had delivered its final message, not with anger, not with cruelty, but with clarity, with power, and with the undeniable proof that humanity would never be erased. The stars shone brighter that night, and for the first time, the galaxy truly feared humanity and respected it.